For today's video, I wanted to talk about some of the top NHL rookies from this past season and kind of look forward and project their sophomore year in this up-and-coming 2019-20 season. Now, obviously, I can't talk about every single rookie in this video, or the video would just be super long. So if there is any rookie that wasn't featured in this video that you guys want to hear my thoughts on, just leave a comment down in the comment section below, and I will try to do my best to reply to all of them. And now, without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. Starting the video off with the Calder Trophy winner, Patterson, and it was well deserved. He was the best rookie from the start of the year up until the end. Maybe, yeah, he cooled down a little bit towards the end, but he wasn't going to play at that phenomenal rate for the entire season, and he was injured a little bit as well, and that definitely, put a damper on his rookie campaign, but still was phenomenal. 66 points, lived up to every single bit of hype that he was getting coming into the year, and I honestly think Patterson is one of those players that you don't have to worry about a sophomore slump. I think he's going to take a big leap forward, especially if he stays healthy and plays in all 82, and if Brock Besser stays healthy and plays in all 82, because they're most likely going to be line mates, and I think they can be one of the more lethal offensive combos in the entire NHL. I wouldn't be surprised if Patterson is up there around 85 to 90 points, and I think he's going to need to be up there around that because he has to be the best player on this team if they want to jump into the playoffs, and he's definitely more than capable. He's an amazing player to watch, had a phenomenal year, and I honestly think we're just going to see more flashes of greatness from him next season. Moving on to one of the two runner-ups to Patterson for the Calder Trophy this past season, and that is the 2018 NHL Draft's #1 overall pick, Rasmus Dahlin. Everybody knew he was going to go #1 overall, and everybody knew he was going to make the jump into the NHL right away and contribute. There was a tremendous amount of hype surrounding him heading into the season, and he did a fantastic job of living up to that hype and really had a strong rookie season. Probably would have won the Calder Trophy any other year if there wasn't other rookies like Patterson and Jordan Binnington, who I'm going to talk about next. But as an 18-year-old defenseman, the season Dahlin had, it's just super impressive, especially considering the fact that usually defensemen take a couple years to come in and really live up to their potential and adjust to the NHL game. But Dahlin did a fantastic job coming in right away and contributing to the Buffalo Sabres team that really needed help on that blue line. One thing I am kind of concerned about is if they do end up trading Rasmus Dahlin, which it really looks like they're going to, that I honestly think there might be a lot of pressure on Dahlin, and Buffalo might rely on him too much and maybe overplay him a little bit. And if that happens, maybe I could see his stats coming down a little bit, but maybe he'll live up to that and, just thrive in that situation, and maybe his numbers will come up even more, and he'll just have a complete all-around amazing season. So I wouldn't worry too much about Dahlin, but with the Buffalo Sabres and, their tendency to overplay defensemen, I mean, we saw it with Dahlin this past season, I am a little bit concerned, but I'm honestly pretty confident that Rasmus Dahlin is just going to continue to get better every single season, and in my opinion, there's going to be a lot of Norris trophies in this guy's future. Moving along to the second of the two runner-ups to Patterson for the Calder Trophy, and that is goaltender Jordan Binnington of the St. Louis Blues. A historical season for him, and I honestly think he would have been the Calder Trophy winner had he have played the full season, but it was too, small of a sample size. I still think rightfully so Patterson won, but Jordan Binnington was fantastic. 24-5-1, a 1.89 goals against, and a 927 save percentage. The biggest reason why St. Louis was able to turn their season around, going from the last place team in the league in I believe like January or February or one of the 2 months, to turning it around, making the playoffs, and eventually going on a phenomenal run and winning the Stanley Cup. It's just super cool to see a guy like Jordan Binnington, who is 26 years old, and it's not like he was touted as one of higher tier goaltending prospects in the league. He really just came in out of the AHL and played fantastic, and now has made a name for himself. Got a new contract this summer. I'm super happy for him, and I'm also pretty interested to see how he plays next season, because obviously his numbers aren't going to be that good. He's not going to have such a ridiculous record, but I still think he can be a very solid goaltender for the future for the St. Louis team, and it's honestly just crazy to consider what he did this past year as a first-year NHL goaltender. And now, moving out of the Calder conversation a little bit, I wanted to talk about Andrei Skov, the second overall pick in the 2018 NHL Draft, and I honestly had high expectations for him coming into his rookie season. I thought he was going to be a rookie who could, score 30 goals and be one of the favorites for the Calder, and while he didn't live up to those expectations that I had for him, he still had a very strong rookie year for the Carolina Hurricanes, 20 goals and 17 assists for 37 points, and he's a guy I think is going to take a huge step forward next year and become like a 30 goal scorer and like a 50-point guy in this league, especially if he finds himself on one of the wings with Sebastian Aho, if he gets a lot of power play time. And now that he knows what the NHL game brings after his first season, I think Andrei Skov is honestly a player who could really explode in his sophomore season, and he's another guy that I honestly wouldn't worry too much about a sophomore slump from, because I just think he's that good, and he's going to be playing with some talented guys in Carolina, and he's most likely going to have a more increased role this up and coming season that he did in his rookie year. I'm super excited to see how he plays, and he's definitely a rookie that played this past season that I'm going to have a really close eye on heading into next year. The next rookie from this past season I'm going to touch on is Jesperi Kotkaniemi, the 3rd overall pick in the 2018 NHL draft. He was a guy I wasn't quite sure was going to come in and play in the NHL right away, but he did, and he honestly had a very strong rookie season for the Montreal Canadiens, 11 goals and 23 assists for 34 points, and I see no reason why that number shouldn't be up there around 45 to 50 points next year, especially because I don't think he's going to be playing 3rd line center minutes. I think he'll at least be the 2nd line guy behind Max Domi as the 1st line center, and I'm just really excited to see how this Montreal team plays. They're a very young team, and now hopefully guys like Nick Suzuki and Ryan Poehling can come in and play a full-time NHL role, and if they all do and Kotkaniemi takes that leap forward next year that I kind of expect him to, this really could be one of the more exciting teams to watch in the NHL just because of all the youth that they have up front. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, definitely a player that I was impressed with this past season, and another guy that I honestly expect to, get that point total way up and, just have a bigger role with Montreal next season. The next rookie I'm going to talk about is Miro Heiskanen of the Dallas Stars, and he is a guy who very well could have been in Calder Trophy conversation. He had a fantastic year, 33 points for the 3rd overall pick in the 2017 NHL draft, and he was a big part in why Dallas made the playoffs and had a good playoff run as well. He's a defenseman, and when you throw him in a D-core along with Esa Lindell, John Klingberg, you have the makings of a very strong blue line, and when that blue line fails you, you have Ben Bishop in goal, and that is just part of why Dallas is such a dangerous team, and I think Miro Heiskanen is just going to continue to get better. I see no reason as to why he shouldn't be able to put up 45 to 50 points next year if he stays healthy. The one bad thing for him is, yes, he does play behind John Klingberg, and he'll probably never get to quarterback a #1 power play unit as long as Klingberg is there, but even still, Miro Heiskanen, a fantastic player, and I'm very intrigued to see how he develops heading into next season, coming off a very strong rookie year, because now you could argue Dallas has a better roster, and Miro Heiskanen, there isn't even going to be as much pressure on him now as there was last season, and I honestly think he can thrive in that role and have another very strong year for Dallas and hopefully lead them to the playoffs again. Moving along to the first of 2 Ottawa Senators rookies I'm going to touch on in this video, the first being the 4th overall pick in the 2018 NHL draft, Brady Tkachuk. He had a fantastic rookie season, 45 points, and it was really super impressive that he was really just able to focus on playing his game and not focus on any of the other drama surrounding the organization. And heading into next year, I think Brady Tkachuk can be a 30-goal guy and like a 60-point player, but there is a part of me that feels maybe a sophomore slump could be in the cards for him as well, and maybe he regresses a little bit next season, just because now he's not going to have half a season with guys like Mark Stone, Matt Duchene, and Ryan Dzingel anymore. Brady Tkachuk is going to be the #1 offensive option on this team, and hopefully Ottawa doesn't put too much pressure on him to really provide the majority of the offense there, because if they do, then I think that could be maybe detrimental to his growth, but then you never know, he could be the type of player that takes all that, thrives in it and makes him better, and I honestly hope that's the case as opposed to, having a sophomore slump. I'm not too confident in that prediction, I'm just throwing it out there, maybe you never know because it does happen with some players, but Brady Tkachuk had a phenomenal rookie season, and I'm pretty excited to see how he plays, along with Colin White, who I'm going to talk about next in this youthful Ottawa team. Next up, like I said earlier, we have Colin White, the 2nd Ottawa Senators rookie. I'm going to talk about the 21st overall pick back in 2015. He's a 22-year-old centerman, finally came on and played his first full NHL season, and he did very well, 41 points in 71 games, and I think there is a strong possibility he probably centers Brady Tkachuk this up-and-coming season on the first line, and then maybe you throw a guy like Mikhail Bodker on the other wing just to have a veteran presence with these 2 young players. But Colin White and Brady Tkachuk, in my opinion, can either really have a fantastic season or both maybe struggle, as there will be too much pressure on these 2 young players to give a lot of the offense for Ottawa, but they are a rebuilding team, and I like how they are, leaning towards a youthful direction direction. You know, a lot of people say how bad this team is run, but they have drafted well over the past couple of years with like Brady Tkachuk, Thomas Chabot, Colin White is looking like a great draft pick as well. The future isn't as bad as it seems and as some people make it out to be for the Ottawa Senators, and I think Colin White has a lot of potential, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's like a 20 goal scorer this up and coming season and is up there around 55 to 60 points along with Brady Tkachuk. I think these two are going to be a very fun young duo to watch next year. Moving on to rookie for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that is Anthony Cirelli, the Lightning's 72nd overall pick back in 2015, and in my opinion, Cirelli was one of the more underrated rookies this past season. 39 points, 19 goals, he played a bottom 6 role, but he really thrived, and it was sheltered minutes because it was a stacked team, but he was a big part in why they were so good. He was a fantastic penalty killer. Him and Matthew Joseph definitely made this team that much more exciting to watch, and I think Anthony Cirelli should have a more increased role next season. He's probably going to hit the 20 goal mark and just be an energy guy. Even if he's still on the third line, I think he probably should get that point total up a little bit, maybe around 45 to 50 points. Still be a fantastic penalty killer. He's definitely a guy with a bright future in this league, and if he didn't play in Tampa Bay behind so many stacked players, I think he would get a lot more recognition. And now finishing out the video with Toronto Maple Leafs rookie Andreas Johnsson, a 202nd overall pick in 2013. The 24-year-old winger came on in his first NHL season and played very well for Toronto. The majority of his, good games came in William Nylander's absence, 20 goals and 23 assists for 43 points. I think there is a very strong possibility that he scores 20 again, but I don't really know, what his ceiling is. I don't really see him getting that point total up too much, just because I don't know what role he's going to play. I think there's going to be a line of Mitch Marner, John Tavares, and then maybe Zach Hyman, and then I think Matthews is going to play with the Russian they brought over, and then William Nylander. So Johnsson probably going to play in a third line role, but he should get some power play time as well, and probably have some similar stats as he did this past season, but he definitely was a pleasant surprise for the Leafs last year. So that is going to wrap up today's video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to let me know down in the comment section who were some rookies that you were impressed with this past season. And with all that being said, I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe to the channel for daily NHL content. And I will see you guys all in the next video.